all month long.
This is Alfonso Revizo, General Manager over at Crown in Cleveland, your local Jeep and Ram dealership.
You're listening to Paul Feinbaum on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. The Drive is coming up. The ESPN Cleveland 101.3 lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. WholesaleSupply.us.
The Fall Fun Festival, sponsored by Mount Olive Ministries, is back at the Tri-State Exhibition Center on Wednesday, October 29th. Join us from 6 to 8:30 p.m. for an evening full of family fun. This year, you can enjoy lots of carnival rides, jump and play in inflatables, stop by the petting zoo, ride the train, and compete in carnival games. Grab dinner and dessert from your favorite food trucks, then top it off with free candy for the kids. And admission is free. Mark your calendars and bring the whole family to the Fall Fun Festival, sponsored by Mount Olive Ministries at the Tri-State Exhibition Center, 6 to 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday, October 29th.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen. And
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Think of all, yeah.
welcome back to The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Excited to be back with everybody on this beautiful fall football filling Wednesday.
It is gorgeous outside. You know what they say? Chamber of Commerce Day.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. That is a real term, but, man, it is absolutely picture perfect out there. We have, in my opinion, East Tennessee, October is about as good as a month as you can get around here. I mean, normally it's pretty dry. The weather's usually nice and warm, but it's no humidity, or low humidity, I should say. And that's what we got today, man.
It's perfect weather for about 2 weeks.
That's kind of how I feel about it. It gets cold really quick.
Yeah.
It does, but I mean, what's a better month, weather-wise? Now, I know you like it hot.
July.
No, I'd agree. October and November, like, I would say mid-October to, like, early November. And then once, like, you hit mid-November, it starts getting cold.
Then it gets too cold. Yeah, I get that. Don't get me wrong, but man, it's picture perfect out there right now. I mean, I wish we had a convertible here in the here, and we could just take the roof off and be out there in the sunshine right now.
Well, it looks like football season in our studio right now. Jim's got the quarter zip on, which apparently Carmelo Anthony did too. By the way, on the broadcast on NBC last night, NBA on NBC is back. Yeah. Some big NBA games took place last night, and you've got Vince Carter over here in like a three-piece suit, and then Carmelo Anthony is also on the broadcast, and he showed up wearing like a starter quarter-zip jacket and sunglasses. I don't think he got the memo.
What is it any different than what Pat McAfee wears on a daily basis on his show and on game day?
That's true.
Everyone else, let's be honest, everyone else on game day is in a button-up shirt with a tie on. Not McAfee, man.
He suns out, guns out. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, like, if you've got a radio personality, or that's your personality in general, like, I'm here.
Let it fly.
Yeah. Like, the days of, like, the having to be, like, completely professional all the time. Like, if you're on a show like College Game Day, they joke around. Like, they have a good time. Broadcasters, on the other hand, like, I like that the broadcasters show up, and, like, that's a traditional wear.
Okay, I'm glad that we are getting in this subject, because it's something I've always wanted to ask. When did it become cool to have a suit on in a studio and you got sneakers on?
Oh,
that is the worst look, and I see it all the time.
That's a real thing now.
I know it.
I feel personally attacked because
I just think it looks ridiculous.
I'm the guy currently wearing like dress pants. Now I'm wearing a coach's top because it's school stuff, but like I always have on like the Nike kicks.
But I'm talking about wearing a suit and a tie, except on the footing. It's like you're afraid you're going to slip down on the slick floor in dress shoes.
I wore Air Forces to a wedding.
And so I can see it in certain circumstances where, like, I know a lot of these analysts and reporters, like, they're running around. They're doing a lot. But, like, in studio, you're starting to see it a lot more as well. I'm the type of guy, when I have a suit on, like, I've got some wingtips on with it. Like, I'm traditional in that.
All right, like Mike Greenberg, if you watch him, he's always got suit and tie and dress shoes. The guy standing 2 feet from him has a suit and tie and sneakers.
See,
it stands out so bad.
My thing is though, like you're dressing for the job, and if you're dressing like sporty, like I'm okay if you are a broadcaster of a sports team and you want to wear like some Nike like Air Force Ones or some Dunks or whatever, like some Jordans, like that's kind of like appropriate.
With a suit?
Yeah, you're covering sports.
Hey, speaking of dressing for the job, Tony Vitello is not going to have to change the colors.
Oh, yeah, let's get to sports now, right?
And what he's going to have to dress for, because the San Francisco Giants have announced and confirmed that UT head baseball coach Tony Vitello will be the next manager of the San Francisco Giants. That was broke earlier today by Jeff Passan and Pete Thamel. First ever to jump from college baseball to Major League Baseball without any prior Major League experience.
You know, and I know it's totally different. It kind of reminds me of when Jerry Faust went from high school football to Notre Dame. There was a lot of things, oh, yeah, he's a winner, he's going to win, and he was like a 500 coach at Notre Dame. Man, if Vitello starts having difficulties, you know what's going to happen. They're going to say, well, this guy don't know what he's doing. He's just a college coach, blah, blah, blah. That's the one thing, because there's going to be so much pressure on him to win immediately, and if he doesn't, it's going to be because he didn't come up through the ranks. He doesn't have the experience in professional baseball. Blah blah blah. I think it's going to be very difficult.
It's a little bit of a risky move.
Yeah, but like I feel like 99% of people would have like taken that job in a heartbeat. Like you
have to take it.
Sure.
It's a Major League Baseball job.
There's only 30 of those.
You might get one opportunity, and it's your only opportunity.
Yeah, well, hear me out here. What I'm trying to get at. Most people, you wouldn't be able to get the pin off fast enough to sign the papers. It seems like it took Tony some time to make this decision. Like I think you know that he loved Knoxville, that it was a special place to him, because we've been hearing these rumors for quite some time.
Couple weeks now.
Yeah.
And then you hear about the emotional, exit where he talked to his team and to his coaches and all of that. I think he had to wrestle with it a little bit, which shows you how special UT baseball has become.
There's no doubt it's hard to leave a place that you love. And I think it's very apparent that he loved being the head baseball coach at the University of Tennessee. Wins a national title, has several other good runs there, and took them really out of the gutter of the SEC and made them a national power in college baseball. But when you get he's got some little insight here for people that aren't quite as in tune to the situation. He has a very good relationship with Buster Posey. Buster Posey wanted a mentor to coach these young guys coming up in the system. He wanted a guy with fire and energy, which as a Braves fan, I'm sitting over here, I did not want Tony Vitello to be the manager of the Braves. I just didn't think it was a good route from where that organization is right now. But for San Francisco, I don't think it's a bad move. I think he's going to have that fire. He's going to have that passion, and someone that, listen, shows up and choosing up, even if it's reviewable or not review. Sometimes just having that backing and that support as a player is nice to have. We've seen that die down in this day and age of instant replay and being able to, go back and look at everything. So I think it's going to be a treat for them to have him as their manager for the Giants, and I think it's going to be It's an opportunity that he had to take. He couldn't turn that down.
Here's the thing, and I fully believe this. I believe that he thought this is an opportunity that may never come my way ever again.
Exactly.
And here's the thing: if let's say things don't work out for him, how many colleges would do whatever they could to get him to be a coach at their university?
Tennessee
again?
probably bring him right back.
So it's a no-lose situation for him. He's either going to become a very successful major league manager, or he can go right back to college and be successful in college. So I think it's a no-brainer. You had to do this.
Well, I'll tell you what he will be losing out on, and it shows you how big of a deal it is because he's going to be taking a pay cut.
Sure, initially.
There's no way. They still owe their former manager $4 million. He's making $3 million in Knoxville.
He's got a $3 million buyout in Knoxville as well that the Giants are having to cover.
Yeah, and then you add state taxes, cost of living,
California.
like it's gonna be a pay cut. But like we said, this opportunity only comes around one time.
Now, obviously, when the Giants are on the road and he's getting paid, you use whatever those taxes are in that particular state. So there's 81 games in San Francisco for sure, and the games in San Diego and Los Angeles. Obviously, those are games that are the same, tax bracket. But when you play the Texas Rangers or the Houston Astros, then you go by their tax rules. So
when you look at fan attendance, the Giants are one of the best in Major League Baseball.
I think they got the best ballpark in Major League Baseball.
It's a great facility, but as far as bringing in butts in the seat, bringing in dollar signs, like they've got money. He's getting paid. I don't care what anybody says. He's not taking that job and taking a massive pay cut. That's not happening.
And the endorsement possibilities in the greater Bay Area are much higher than any endorsement opportunities in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Jacob, are you looking to see what if we know the terms of the deal yet?
I don't think they've fully broke.
Okay.
People are just I've seen reporters say that he's taking a pay cut. Like that's been the overall
base pay. Base pay.
This is another good translation here. A translation for Tony Vitello is the fact that he's a single guy, doesn't have kids, and has all the time in the world. And he loves baseball, loves doing what he does. People were talking about that jump from college is a lot more demanding going to the major leagues. You're talking about being a on-site full-time employee all the time, and he gets around in Knoxville. He goes out, he socializes, he has a fun. He had a laid back kind of cake position because Tennessee in baseball, he is responsible for getting them to the point where it recruits itself. He's there. He's the face. You see him on TV on ESPN when they're playing these games and these super regionals, and he got that program to such a good place that it really recruited itself.
Well, I will say this. I feel like Tennessee is going to have to knock this hire out of the ballpark because the players came to play for Tony.
Well, the interim has been named, and it's pitching coach Frank Anderson.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so
who's an older guy.
He is. And they said that could last 4 days until they hire the next guy, or Frank the Tank might be the guy for the upcoming season. And what that does with the University of Tennessee, and I think they've handled it very well. They're like, listen, he's got to take this opportunity. It's a great opportunity. We're happy for him. We're excited. But business goes on as usual, and we're going to start a search. The problem is you've already started this academic calendar. A lot of good people are already locked down in positions. There's not a lot of people chilling out at home right now. So what I'm thinking, and I threw this out to a couple people when this was announced, but you've got a guy like R.A. Dickey up there in the area, a guy that was a Cy Young winner that's been on staff at Tennessee before, that you want to talk about being able to recruit people. The guy can show up to a house with a Cy Young award with them. That's a guy that could be a one-year plug fill-in.
Well, there's a lot of push for. I think you pronounce his last name
Erlander.
Erlander.
Yeah, that's who. That's what I was.
Rumor is he's going to San Francisco.
I could see
that's the rumor that he's going to be the bench coach, and it's always smart to take someone that knows your system and knows how you operate.
Yeah, and so there's going to be a push from Tennessee fans there. I think Oregon's coach. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. It's like Wiskowski, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big name that's popping up on the list. But To add to this nutty day, did y'all see what happened with Kevin O'Sullivan in Florida
I know he's taking a leave of absence.
for personal issues,
Yeah.
and that's all that's been said.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
all, that's all that's
Well,
said.
apparently there's a phone call made to Marcus Freeman's agent from the University of Florida, and it was pretty quick. No.
Yeah.
They called to see if Marcus Freeman would be interested in the Florida job, and the response was no.
Marcus Freeman's one of those guys. He's going to be a lifer at Notre Dame if he wants to.
I
be.
love it, and I hope that that's the case.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I
he
think-
even changed. He's a Catholic now. He wasn't a Catholic until he became a coach there.
I think there is one job that he leaves for, and it's your team.
Right. And like I said, and I still believe that if Heupel ever leaves Tennessee, it's only to go to Oklahoma.
By his team, I'm sorry, I forget that we're not just having a conversation here and there's listeners. Jim likes Ohio State. I think if there's one job he returns home to where he played linebacker at, that would be Ohio
Well, it's
State.
kind of like
Logically,
Kirby,
that makes
Kirby
sense.
Smart. It's kind of like Kirby Smart. A lot of people said, "Oh yeah, he could be the next in line to take over Saban's job," until the University of Georgia calls. He's a lifer at
well,
Georgia.
time out.
you know?
That's what we saw Lane Kiffin do to Tennessee.
That's right. He went the only one job he's
he
in
said
the
there's
league
only
for."
one job I've ever won, and it's the USC job.
Yep.
It became available. Much like Tony Vitello, when you get those opportunities at either a big league job or at your dream job, you have to at least, regardless of the situation, you have to give it a go. You got to give it a try.
It's kind of like I've said this with Ryan Day. He's not going to leave Ohio State for any other college, but he would leave for the National Football League.
I think you're right.
I believe that. I believe that will happen at some point. I really believe that.
While we're on this topic, I want to give a shout out to Vol's Twitter. Like they always try their best.
Deliver, don't they?
Well, listen to this. So
They love hard.
But Buster Posey was sent a box of mustard today from Tennessee fans. They were creating fake Twitter accounts that were Giants fans, and they followed all the players and followed like Giants fans accounts and saying, "We don't want Tony V as the next manager."
Trying to pull a Greg Schiano.
They pulled out all the stops, and it shows you how much they truly did love Tony and everything he
I mean, you
had.
can't blame him.
No,
you really can't.
No, like it's something that I think other coaches should study is how well he led a program while also letting his players be themselves. That's something that I respected about him. I thought it was a little loose cannon for my personal liking of what I liked my teams coached by, but he went out and won a national championship doing it.
Yep, that's right.
He allowed his guys to have this swagger about them and a swagger about himself, and he embodied what it kind of meant to be, what that Vols identity team was.
Yeah, once again, the breaking news today, Tony Vitello has accepted the managerial position with the San Francisco Giants. A big conversation today here in Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, is Vol fans have just absolutely been devastated, and I can understand. Like, I would feel the same way if Marcus Freeman decided to go to the Indianapolis Colts.
Right. I sat here on this microphone 2 weeks ago, and I flat out said, there is no way that Tony Vitello is going to become the next manager of the San Francisco Giants. I said, just doesn't happen. Guys in college don't become major league managers. Guys from college might go to the minor leagues. They're not going straight to the big league club.
That says a lot about him.
I totally was wrong.
And really, like, I started buying into Tennessee fans and the theories. Like, I sat here and told y'all off air, like, I thought this was more of Buster Posey trying to throw Tony a solid with, like some recruiting
Get
stuff.
him a little
like,
bump.
Yeah, like, well, Tony had some visions of what he wanted with UT, and him and Danny White didn't completely agree on everything eye to eye, and I think it was more of like I thought it was a strong arm thing.
Danny.
And then when the 72-hour mark hit, I was like, okay, if they have let baseball, like, the one thing about Major League Baseball is they don't like news being broke during like times of gameplay, like
World Series.
Yeah, they don't. So now that there's this little break, when it didn't come out at 8 a.m. that next morning, I thought, okay, the time's passed. They're
same here.
They're going on for somebody else.
Well, that's where I'm waiting to see what's happening in Atlanta. Atlanta, right? The Braves looking for a manager as well.
I'm still holding out hope that it's David Ross, but I know that you want
Well, I'm good with David Ross. I would take him in a heartbeat. I wanted Mark DeRosa. So this is an update. First of all, Alex Anthopoulos is keeping everything hush-hush, which I hate and I love at the same time.
He's going to hire the Vanderbilt coach, isn't that right?
Tim Corbin, bring him on. Hey, I would be completely
Could you imagine?
in my opinion, and I'm sorry, Tennessee fans, Tim Corbin is the best college baseball coach in the country.
So Tennessee needs to get Tim Corbin to come to Knoxville. Is that right?
Listen,
Now, let's go ahead and start that rumor. Come on.
it would take a lot of money to lure him away from what he's got going at Vanderbilt. He's been there since
Vanderbilt's
2002.
a football school now. Come on.
You're right.
He's lost his luster. Lost his luster, man.
But so Alex Anthopoulos keeping everything really close to the chest and close to the vest. Excuse me.
To the vest. We know what you meant.
And that's what happens when I think and read and talk to you at the same time, Jim. But I like it for the sake of when stuff leaks, it causes it gets things spinning. It gets drama started. It gets agents talking and stuff. Alex Anthopoulos is so good about this with trades, obviously with this managerial process. But Mark Bowman did get some information and reports that the Dodgers bench coach, Danny Lehman, is emerging as a strong candidate. He worked with Alex Anthopoulos in Los Angeles with the Dodgers from 16 to 17 as the advanced video scout. And a name that I'm not necessarily against, but Ryan Flaherty, former Atlanta Brave, current Cubs bench coach, seems to be a favorite, along with George Lombard, who's a former Atlanta Brave from 98 to 2000. He's an Atlanta native. He's the current Detroit Tiger bench coach and also is bilingual, which is, I think, a big deal.
These days with all the, the Spanish-speaking players, now obviously you got some Asian players too. Usually you don't have a translator for those guys. But if you can speak fluent Spanish,
that's great.
That's a huge assist these days.
That got Ozzie Guillen some jobs he probably shouldn't have got. Let's be real.
You talk about a potty mouth.
Nobody
had
doubt.
a dirtier mouth than Ozzie Guillen.
He probably should have not had a couple of positions that he had as a manager, but the fact that he was bilingual was a plus in that column. But David Ross and Mark DeRosa have seemed to have dropped off in the conversation. This is according to Mark Bowman, the MLB beat writer for the Atlanta Braves. Also, John Gibbons, former Toronto manager during Anthopoulos' time in Toronto, has no longer shown any interest in the position. So that's another guy who had a lot of momentum. But so wanted to hit on that real quick. But when we come back, we're going to talk about some fun college football stuff. We're going to go over what we feel like are the best three teams in each Power 4 conference at the moment. All that when we come back.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to make you a morning person. Loading up our omelet biscuit with sausage, ham, and applewood smoked bacon stacked on a fluffy made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Or making a home-style loaded burrito. All that breakfast in a tortilla with crispy hash browns. Good morning, morning person, from Hardee's Country. Download the app and join my rewards for 20% off any breakfast purchase of $10 or more. Registration and minimum $10 purchase required. See app for terms.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
For the past quarter century, Mix 104.1 has been your home for UT Vols football. That's something to celebrate. Vol 25 is here. ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and USS are giving you a chance to win tickets to all of the Tennessee road games this season. Each Monday before a road game, you can register to win tickets to that Saturday's Vols game. Vol 25 is brought to you by USS. Visit USSTN.com/Chattanooga. For more information, check out our ESPN Cleveland 101.3 socials on Facebook and Instagram.
Need a new shop, garage, or other unique space? Explore post-frame building kits from Best Buy Metals. Best Buy Metals kits utilize steel trusses for the ultimate in strength and durability. When you need it to last, call Best Buy Metals. Stop by or visit bestbuymetalroof.com for your custom structure.
Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Visit milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682.
When it comes to sports coverage, News Channel 9 is going big. Big time sports with a big personality on the TVFCU Sports Desk with Big Will Levinson. Big time SEC games, covering the Bulls, running with the Dogs, and rolling with the Tide. Plus the mocks, local prep, and everything in between.
Welcome to the TVFCU Sports Desk. I'm Big Will Levinson. College.
The TVFCU Sports Desk, only on News Channel 9 and Fox Chattanooga.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians $22 to $27 per hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com.
Excited to be back with everybody here on The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Got to get this story in there, Jim. UT Chattanooga plans to demolish, the term that's been used is raze historic Ingle Stadium, which was built in 1930, the original home of the Chattanooga Lookouts, to develop a women's athletic complex, and that has fired a bunch of people up in our area.
Well, unfortunately, Ingle Stadium has just been neglected for the last 20 years. Really has nothing's been done to it. When the Lookouts first moved to AT&T, there was still some stuff being done at Ingle Stadium. You'd see a high school tournament being played there. Stuff was going on. After that movie 42 was filmed there, nothing's been done. There are trees growing out of the bleachers.
That was 2012. Yeah. When that was filmed there.
So I said 20 years, so it's been, 13 years or whatever it is.
And it looked great because my son and I had a small part in that movie, got to go be extras, and it looked great. It was in wonderful condition. They did a great job.
If you're familiar with Birmingham and Rickwood Field, you know, the Major League, they had a Major League game was played there this past year. They've kept that ballpark up to date. They've kept it going, even though the Barons don't play there, but they kept it where the Barons can play one series. I think it's either one series or one game there every year. And unfortunately, the Lookouts never did that, and Chattanooga just neglected it.
Well, I saw a picture, and this has been a couple years ago now, but I saw a picture where somebody had snuck in there and, like, taken pictures and, like, done, like, a photo shoot there. And I was like, where in the world could they find a place that has trees growing, like, in the bleachers and all kinds of stuff? And they're like, it's Ingle Stadium. And that just kind of, like, it hurts your heart a little bit because, like, that I think neglected is the best word.
Yeah, part of the roof is caved in.
It could have been used for so much.
There's so much, and of course UTC owns it, and they're the ones that neglected it. Let's just call it what it is.
And this is the problem. It was previously owned after the Lookouts vacated. It was owned by the city of Chattanooga.
Yep.
They then basically gifted it,
gave it
to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, which, listen, love my mocks. Had a great experience at UT Chattanooga. But they, I feel purposely, you're talking upkeep stuff, trees growing in bleachers. That's something, if you send a crew in right now, you're cleaning the bleachers out, you're cleaning that's a couple-day landscaping job. You know, like you clean that up fairly quick, let alone preventing it getting to that point. They purposely neglected this place so they could move on with their plans.
Justify raising it.
And so they put out all these photos and in an effort to say, I feel like, we need to do something with this and build something nice here, when it kind of had the opposite effect on everybody else. They look at it and they're like, well, why would you let it get this way?
I guess if you can tear down Yankee Stadium, the original Yankee Stadium, nothing is untouchable.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and that one, I could never believe that would ever happen, but it did. The new Yankee Stadium which is a much nicer ballpark. We understand that, but man, the history's not there. The history, the house that Ruth built no longer exists.
I can't imagine a world where that ever happens to Fenway Park
or Wrigley. Those
Yeah.
are the two, I think, untouchables. As far as professional sports.
I don't know, man. If the Yankees did it, like you think about, like it just like you said, if it happens to the Yankees, I don't know that anything's untouchable. I don't think things will happen for a long time, but eventually I think these people are going to come knocking saying it's time. Like, everybody in the world outdates us in every part of this park. And so I do think that you can do renovations and keep the history there. I think that's, something that could happen. And I hope
we've seen it at Wrigley. They've invested hundreds of millions of dollars.
And they've done a great job of preserving it, if you want to call it that. So they've done a great job there. But, I mean, like I said, Wrigley Field and Fenway Park, as far as professional sports, do you really include Dodger Stadium? It's hard for me to, because those two ballparks are 40 years older.
Yeah,
than
so much
Stadium.
newer. I do think Dodger Stadium is such a unique place that they'll be able to continue to make the necessary changes for it to be an elite level venue. I think a Lambeau Field in the NFL. That's one that I can't imagine
and
ever.
think of all these college football venues. There's probably 30 or 40 of them. I mean, Neyland Stadium, they're not going to tear it down. They're always going to renovate Ohio Stadium, Notre Dame Stadium, Sanford Stadium. They're always going to renovate those places. They're not going to tear them down, because there would be a revolt if they did stuff like that. Could you imagine tearing down Sanford Stadium and there are the hedges? They built the new stadium with all these decks and suites in there without the hedges. I mean, that would be so anti. I love tradition in college football. Tradition. You got Cameron Indoor Stadium, the Allen Fieldhouse. There are certain places that you just don't mess with, and I agree with that. But Ingle Stadium, did they say when they're going to start?
I don't think they've given an exact date. They just announced the plans that they had, and it's fired a lot of people up. There's a petition that's been started, a lot of people signing it.
It's not going to happen.
It usually doesn't. And so it's just kind of disappointing to see, because I can remember one of the very first baseball games I ever went to was at Ingle Stadium.
It was mine. It was my first game.
And I loved it. I saw the Lookouts win a Southern League championship there. I was there when that happened.
And guys like Willie Mays and Babe Ruth,
Harmon Killebrew, played there.
That's disappointing when you have such a gym like that in right next door to us in downtown Chattanooga that easily could be, even right now. I say easily. I'm sure structurally there's some issues now that have developed because you got roots growing through concrete, and like, I get that.
You can't do anything about that.
You can go through and knock some walls down and rebuild, but as far as the playing surface goes, it's doable, but UTC has no reason to do that.
And yet we don't care one bit when AT&T gets torn down.
It's a pop-up park.
Because it was a here today, gone tomorrow. There's no real history there like Ingle Stadium. I mean, that place it's almost 100 years old. What was it, 1930? I think it opened up in 1930. So it's 95 years old.
Yeah,
AT&T is like 25 years old.
Yeah, just a little pop-up park is what that was. But this Erlanger Park that they're building down there is going to be a really neat place that's going to be around for a while.
No doubt about that.
Before we let Jim take us inside the SEC, also want to announce that Matt Olson and Austin Riley were announced as Silver Slugger finalists, along with Matt Olson at first base are Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers and Pete Alonso of the Mets. And then along with Austin Riley at third base for those Silver Slugger finalists, Matt Chapman of the Giants. And got a new manager, by the way, Tony Vitello, if you didn't hear.
I heard that.
And the Padres, Manny Machado, and the Dodgers, Max Muncy. So kind of packed over there at third base with finalists. And excited for those Atlanta Braves, man.
Yep. All right, inside the SEC. So this is about shutouts, okay? The last time the Missouri Tigers were shut out was last year. They lost to Alabama 34-0. Every team in the SEC has been shut out since 2000 except for two schools. Can you name them? Can you name two schools that haven't been shut out?
I'm going to say Alabama.
In the 2000s.
Alabama has not been shut out?
They have. They got shut out in 2000 by Auburn, 9-0.
Oh, so this is 2000s, well before the Saban era. So I'm going to say that Georgia was not shut out under Mark Richt.
That's correct. That's one of them.
And then the other one, I will say, I don't think Florida's been shut out.
Florida is great. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
You're the winner. Florida has gone 468 consecutive games without being shut out. The last time they were shut out, 1988. By the way, that is the longest streak in college football history.
That's impressive.
What was that, a bowl game a couple years ago where they kicked a field goal right at the end just to prevent from being shut out?
Think about it. Was Steve Spurrier shut out? No. Was Urban Meyer shut out? No. That is very impressive. Very impressive. Do you know by chance who that was in '88 that shut him out? Was it Bobby Bowden?
Auburn.
Okay.
16 zip. I guess that was Pat Dye.
Okay.
1988. But yeah,
going back.
So
man.
those are the longest streaks not being shut out, and the most current streak. Missouri only 12 games, so they lost last year to Alabama 34-0. But that is inside the S.
You know what that makes it interesting? Little cocktail party between those two.
That's right. I've heard that. That's a politically incorrect word. Name,
I don't care. I don't care, Jim. You know that. You know me too well.
No, I do.
So,
is it the Red River rivalry or Red
River
shootout,
man?
Same here.
It's the shootout, and just like the Holy War. You got the Holy War between BYU and Utah.
Yep.
So, yeah, some people don't like that for some reason. Nothing wrong with using the word holy.
Do you remember what the Kentucky-Tennessee rivalry was called for years, don't you?
I do, and it's slipping my mind. But
beer barrel.
Yeah, that's right.
They played for the beer barrel, and then someone says, "Oh, that's alcohol." Oh, Lord. Yeah, nobody in college drinks alcohol, so let's not do that no more.
I know. It's wild. We're acting like we're changing these names, and we're acting like we don't even actively sell them in the stadiums now. Like we sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Thank you.
You're talking about the cocktail party.
No one drinks beer at college. Insert the picture of Belushi. College.
Like it's wild. So.
Oh Lordy, I love it.
Do your thing though. We're still gonna call them the same thing we've always called.
Oh yeah. I'm stuck in my ways. What can I say? I mean, just look at me,
Jacob. Big bull.
Look what I'm wearing, for crying out loud. I probably bought this 20 years ago.
You look nice today, Jim. Come on, man.
Burning up, man.
I'm starting to as well. And we're talking about that at the top of the hour as we're coming into the show, and we're dressed like it's football season. I've got a hoodie on. I feel like Bill Belichick. I just haven't cut the sleeves off yet, and I'm not losing a bunch of games.
Are you pro managers wearing full uniforms? I'm sorry, I'm not getting off on that. Let's do the college football thing, man.
So
we were talking about suits and sneakers.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about managers wearing full uniforms.
Past couple days, we've bounced around a little bit, and it's all good. It's fun conversation. Jacob, on the topic of the rivalry game names, does Georgia Tech, is there an official name for that one?
Yeah, clean old fashioned hate.
That's right.
I love it.
Clean old fashioned. That's right.
That one. That's one of the.
I can't
best.
believe I forgot that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
Clean old fashioned hate.
And it is.
And what's crazy is like that game really has a chance to be.
I'm excited for it this year.
Yeah,
but it's at Mercedes-Benz. Is not at Bobby Dodd, man.
Yeah, was it 6 or 8 overtimes last year?
8
overtimes last year. And now, as we're getting into this next topic, what we're going to do between Jacob, Jim, and myself, we're going to name our top 3 in each Power 4 conference, who we believe right now at the moment are the best 3 teams in each conference. And Georgia Tech, I'm going to lead off since we're talking about it. ACC, I've got Georgia Tech as the number 1 team in the ACC. And obviously Miami upset by Louisville this past week where Carson Beck threw all those interceptions. I've got Louisville sneaking in there right behind Miami at number 3. I think Miami plays them 10 times. They're probably winning 8 of those games.
I think you're right.
But Louisville is sneaking up, and I know I'm leaving Virginia off.
It's okay.
But head-to-head, they beat Louisville. But Louisville's got the better win over Miami. So I'm going Georgia Tech, Miami, and Louisville.
My AC, and you know what? And I'm going to change one because I don't want to be you exactly. So I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to cross with this.
That's
one.
all right if you are.
I'm going to no.
You can agree with me. You can tell me.
I debated about these.
Jim, you can tell me that I'm right.
There were 4 teams. And I thought I had to come up with 3, so I eliminated one. So here are my 3 ACC teams. I've got Georgia Tech and I've got Miami. SMU. I think SMU's coming on strong. They were in the playoffs last year. So I'm going to go SMU over Louisville.
I don't hate it.
Let me get some parameters.
Right now, who do you feel like are the best 3 teams with their track record up to this point? Now, just because some teams have some backloaded into the year that you anticipate them having some losses. I didn't really factor that in yet.
It's just your opinion.
Yes.
You can't. It's nothing. You can't be wrong.
Well,
I'm going to tell him he's wrong.
Then I think it goes Georgia Tech, Louisville, Miami. Like, I don't think you can negate what Louisville just did.
Oh, I agree.
Like,
I had Louisville, but I checked them. I X'd it off because I didn't want to be.
They went down to Miami, and here's the thing: like, you can blame Cristobal. Like, they gave them the rat poison they needed. They said we're more talented than they are, and we're going to line up and win this game. And then they went and got their teeth kicked in.
And the only reason I have Miami above Louisville, even with that head-to-head, like I said, I think Miami wins that matchup 8 out of 10 times.
You think it was more of a fluky win?
And not just that, Miami's got better wins.
Well,
I mean, Carson Beck, how many picks did he throw?
He threw 4.
4. He's not going to do that often.
No, but like that. I'll be honest though. Like, that's the Carson Beck I know and love. Like, he's good. He's good for a game like that.
You just heard it. Jacob said he loves Carson Beck.
He's good for a game like that. You expect it with him.
I cannot keep a straight face around here. He throws stuff like that out there all the time.
I don't even blink anymore.
I know you don't.
All right, so we're going to transition over to the Big Ten now.
To me, that's a no-brainer.
It is for me. I've got Ohio State as the best team in the country, defending national champs. Can't argue that. Indiana at number 2. Simply because what Kurt Cignetti has been able to do. I've not given him credit, and I can no longer do that. I've got to give him the credit. And then my third team out of the Big Ten is Oregon, which, of course, Indiana with that huge win at Oregon. But I was torn, and you're going to laugh when I say this. I looked at Oregon, and I said, you know what? If I did kind of factor in what's coming up, they could slip up a time, maybe 2. But right now, UCLA's 3-0 under Neuheisel. So right now, I know you've got to factor in those first games that you got.
Those first 4 games actually took place.
Yeah, they took place. But, man, they're playing some good football right now. So I want to give UCLA a little bit of love.
And I know that you don't like this team, but I think USC has shown they're really good. I'm shocked that Southern California dropped out of the top 25.
I had USC right there in that conversation with Oregon and UCLA, which and I'm kind of saying UCLA tongue in cheek because they got thumped, but they're a different team now.
My top 3 are the same as yours: Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon. I mean, I don't know how you can make a debate against for USC, but who you get to kick out? You know,
I've got Purdue, Penn State, and Nebraska as the number 1 because they're the best job in the country. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm with y'all. It's those 3.
Yeah, to me, that's the easiest conference to do that too.
Yeah.
So I want to say this, kind of looking at UCLA because they could be spoiler in this conference. They could mess up a lot of seasons coming up here for some teams.
Ohio State's got them here in just a few weeks, and I'm like, you know what?
And they're playing Indiana this weekend, right? UCLA, Indiana.
Yeah.
Like Kurt Cignetti, pay attention, man. Don't blink.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to transition over now to the Big 12, where I've got BYU, Arizona State, because I've got them there at number 2 because they have the best wins, in my opinion. And then Texas Tech, because when I look at that roster, defensive line is as good as anybody's in the country. Offensive line not far behind. They've put a lot of money into that program, but I'm going BYU, Arizona State, and Texas Tech.
I'm going to go a little different, and I'm actually going with a team that has 2 league losses. And I've really debated. I thought about Houston. I thought about Arizona State, but I'm going BYU, Texas Tech, and Iowa State. I'm still a believer that Iowa State can play with any of those teams. But like I said, I kind of had a feeling that I was going to be different on that one. And I thought, well, I want to, and I just picked Iowa State because I feel like they have the potential.
Big 12 was a tougher one for me.
It was the toughest one for me. There's like 5 or 6 teams that I could have gone with.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I think I'm going BYU, obviously, but then it really gets muddy after there for me. Like Arizona State losing,
like 4 or 5 teams.
I mean, Arizona State losing to Mississippi State. I don't care that it's the first game of the year. I don't care that it's on the road. Like that's not a great loss.
No.
That's not for the, like, we're talking about coaches get fired after beating Mississippi State.
Well, I want to give credit to the SEC this year because I'm not as low on Mississippi State as you're sounding right now. I think they're a decent football team. I really do, and they're going to run into some good wins here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go BYU, Texas Tech, because I just think the talent is there, and like that was a one-off. Like that was just their game of the year that they're just going to show up flat for and lose. And then I guess I'll just go Cincinnati. I mean, they're currently
they're playing well too.
They are only one loss on the season for the Bearcats,
and that was to Nebraska, first game of the year in Kansas City. By the way, that was a Cincinnati home game.
Yeah, and really like could have won that game easily.
Yeah, and stuff like that drives me crazy. All right, Cincinnati, had that game been played at Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, I believe Cincinnati wins that game. But they sold it to the Arrowhead Stadium for millions of dollars, full of 85% Nebraska fans. Nebraska pulls that game out.
Taking my Georgia hat off.
You bought yourself a loss, and that's how I look at it. You bought yourself a loss.
Taking my Georgia hat off and being a college football fan, that's how I feel about Georgia Tech. Like
Same here.
I think Georgia Tech might have made a very critical error that genuinely could keep if you lose that Georgia game let's say you lose it by 2 touchdowns, and then you go to the ACC championship and lose, you're out.
That's right.
You're out. And they're going to put better teams in front of you. Like that needed to be a key mark game that you're competitive in.
That game should be played at Bobby Dodd Stadium, 100%.
And just like Vandy, they could have packed that place out. Now that they've got, it's not going to be an easy.
I think you guys are underestimating the turnout of the Ramblin' Racket at Mercedes-Benz. I really do. They turned out for Notre Dame. I think they're going to for sure do it against Georgia.
Regardless, you're looking at a 50-50 versus an 80-20.
That's true.
Like, at best, it's a 50-50.
How big's Bobby Dodd Stadium? What did we say? Like
50,000.
50,000? So, I mean,
Mercedes-Benz is what, 75,000?
Yeah.
Like that?
I'm curious. I want to see it play out before I get too argumentative on that topic, but I don't hate the move.
But getting back to Cincinnati, they absolutely sold their game to a venue that's not that far from Lincoln, Nebraska. It was a home game for Cincinnati. They wore their home uniforms. It was 90%, 85 to 90% Nebraska fans.
By the way,
and it was a very competitive game.
By the way, Nebraska premier college football program. Jim Gunn
they
says.
Draw well. I mean, they sell out every game.
Jim, I'm trying to ruffle your feathers a little bit here. Hey, so next up, the SEC. When we come back, right here on The Drive.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
This is John Davis, the trading man at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway. Is your old car really scary? Are you frightened about how much you owe? Don't be afraid. We'll take any trade. Let your scary old car rust in peace. Kia Cleveland will pay you up to $7,000 over Kelley Blue Book market value for your current vehicle, running or not. That's right, up to $7,000 for any trade in any condition. And we'll buy your car for cash, even if you don't buy a car from us. Are you haunted by bad credit? Don't sweat it. Our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Don't be frightened by how much you owe on your old car. At Kia of Cleveland, we can get you out. Come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Negative trade equity financed in new loan, subject to lender approval, expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two, the new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell. When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357. Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
To Mayfield Dairy Ice Cream, you'll never have a boring bite. Pick some up today at your local grocery store and visit MayfieldDairy.com to learn more. Excited to be back with you guys here on The Drive. Mayfield Dairy, big-time sponsors of the Atlanta Braves here on The Drive. Also, all of our MLB coverage. And as we mentioned, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, finalists for the Silver Slugger Awards. And if you've been living under a rock, the World Series is set. The Dodgers versus the Blue Jays. What's up, Jacob? Game 1, Friday at 8 p.m. in Toronto. Man, that's a fan base that's ready and hungry for a World Series.
You know, they just renovated that place a couple years ago. It's really, really nice. That stadium used to convert to football. It doesn't do that anymore. Everything's permanent. But they lowered the seating capacity there in Toronto from 50,000 to 39,000.
Yeah, at the Rogers Center.
And you know they're sitting there going, boy, it'd be nice to have an extra 11,000 people in here with the way tickets are and everything.
How cool would it be to have one of those hotel rooms in the outfield that's up in that higher? I mean, talk about people go on and on about the Omni at Truist, and it's beautiful. It's a great view, but you're like in the stadium at the Rogers Center.
It is so cool.
That would be a heck of an experience.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, Jacob wants to go sometime. All right, so we kind of teased our listeners before we went to break there, doing our top 3 in each Power 4 conference right now, and we stopped at the SEC because we wanted to build the hype and the anticipation of what is taking place in the SEC right now. And although on paper, and I even put it on my paper, I've got Texas A&M as the number 1 team in the SEC right now. Not only what they've been able to do within the SEC, came up to Notre Dame, beat my Irish at Notre Dame. That's such a good win. And they're about to get tested, though. So I wanted to go ahead and put them at number 1 because they're about to run in, I believe, Missouri coming up. They've got, is it Texas? Let's see. We got it right over here in front of us. So A&M is a team that I feel like between Missouri, South Carolina, and Texas, those are their big upcoming games. And I just think that Mike Elko is hitting his stride there. And he's proven that he's an elite coach that is probably going to be getting some phone calls for some of these jobs as well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably have heard me. I'm not buying into Texas A&M this year just yet. Why? Because Texas A&M historically has always found a way to choke down the stretch.
They also have LSU this week, and they could get Brian Kelly fired.
Yeah,
or they could get Brian Kelly
a huge win,
a big win to get that heat off of him a little bit. I guess, and I shouldn't do this, but I'm notorious about this school has always done this, and I think they'll always
track
continue.
record.
Yeah, and Texas A&M historically finds a way to blow it somehow, some way, and
So-
I believe they're going to do it again.
Last year, late in the season.
So since we're talking about them, they're number 3 on my list, and it's because they are undefeated. You know, they're up there in the rankings. I think they have squeaked by in every game that they've played so far.
They beat Arkansas by 3 points last week, guys.
They
beat Notre Dame by 1.
Notre Dame beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, they did.
In that game.
And, you know, I'm looking at the schedule, and LSU, we're talking about a team that's so one-dimensional that, like, you know, I joked yesterday and said somebody was as shaky as a Walmart. wheel on a cart. Like that's how LSU is to me.
Nussmeier's going to be fired up too for this game. Did you see how frustrated he was in Nashville at Vanderbilt?
Big time.
He that's one that he's wearing. He's got something to prove now.
And but the problem is that it doesn't change that their offensive line is not very good. That they have no run game. Like it seemed with LSU that once they fix a problem, there's always another problem.
Sounds like you're talking about a Brian Kelly team.
So to me, like there's not like Missouri will be a tough game. I think that's a game that they could be upset in,
and that's at Missouri.
And Texas is a game that just because it's a rivalry game, like you could
and
lose.
it's at Texas.
That's tough. That's tough.
But even then, you're sitting at 2 losses in the SEC, and I still think that proves to be the number 3 team.
So you've got them at 3. I've got them at 1. Texas A&M. Jim, is Texas A&M in your top 3?
No.
Wow. So right now, Jim Gum says no Texas A&M, even though they're one of the top 5 teams in the country.
Oh, I get that. Right now, they are ranked that high. I personally don't have them that high, but I'm like I said, I've seen it my whole life, and I'm a lot older than y'all. Texas A&M year after year after year after year would be so good early on, and then comes November, the November slide from Texas A&M.
And they did it last year under Mike Elko, which I get. The Elko period of time here at Texas A&M is fresh, it's new, it's exciting.
I mean, Jackie Sherrill had the same problems there when he was coaching the Aggies. I mean, these guys had some success. They won like the Southwest Conference, I guess, back then a couple times. But historically, A&M has always found a way to choke it away, and I believe that's what's going to happen again. I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see Texas A&M.
Yeah, I
do well. I really would.
I like Elko. I think Texas A&M's a little bit of a cult. Not going to get into that right now. But my number 2 team is Alabama.
That's my number 1 team.
I'm eating so much crow right now because I talk so much smack about Alabama and Kalen DeBoer coming into this season after the Florida State game, and it took a few weeks for me to be like, you know what, this team's pretty dang good. They are. I've got Alabama as my number 2, and mainly because of that head-to-head win with Georgia. That's such a big win. Georgia has been able to outlast everybody except Alabama when it comes to 4 quarters, and this isn't a scenario where Kirby Smart is outcoached by Nick Saban once again. It's not that. This is just a good Alabama team, and I've got Georgia at 3, and I say that thinking Georgia can still win a national title, and I'm also saying that with Vanderbilt. Ask me again in 2 weeks, and I'll let you know if I include them in this top 3.
So I've got Alabama 1. I just think they're the most balanced between a solid defense and a good offense. And then I've got Georgia number 2, just because they're hard to kill, man. Like they're like you can't teach what they're building down there in the culture side of things. Like they are just hard to get rid of. And so I've got them at 2. Then I'm gonna go Texas A&M at 3.
Okay, y'all gonna hate me for this. I've got Alabama 1. I've got Georgia 2. Only because everyone's been ripping on this team all year. I'm gonna say Texas Longhorns are gonna sneak through LAF. They've already got 2 losses, but only 1 in conference play.
Their offense is just not look good.
I know, but don't you think they're inevitable? They're getting figured out.
They should have lost to Kentucky last week,
but they didn't.
I know that's Kentucky.
But they've got I'll tell you what Texas has. They've got a really good defense.
They had 136 yards of total.
179.
Texas lost to Sunbelt Billy.
That's true, and that's a battle. But I believe that defense is going to be enough to get them some wins. And I think that at some point, some way, I think Arch Manning's going to get this thing figured out, and they're going to be okay.
Hey, 2 weeks from now, Texas Vanderbilt. That game is going to be very telling of where these teams. We're getting into the meat and potatoes of this conference schedule.
Hey, I'll give you guys a little insider report on Georgia when we come back next week. I'm going to be absent from the studio tomorrow, heading down to the University of Georgia with one of my students. Super excited. We're going to Bulldogs and Buddies. So
that's gonna be cool, man.
Going to get to see a Georgia practice, and he's going to get to meet the players after the game. So I'll give you a little inside scoop of where I think Georgia is at this point in the season.
Real quick, got to touch on the Volunteers, but very fun. I enjoyed doing that with you guys. The top 3 in each Power 4 conference right now. Probably a segment we'll continue to do week to week.
Yeah, I think we ought to do that. Because it changes, man. It's fluid.
Does. There's no doubt. But Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar, it's been very well documented. He's banged up after that loss down at Alabama. So you can expect Deshaun Bishop should get a hefty amount of carries at Kentucky, which, by the way, got to give a shout-out to our guy Josh Gamble, who compliments of USS, our Vols 25 giveaway, getting to go up to that road game in Lexington with a couple gift cards from Hardees for some combos, some T-shirts, and also Cleveland Insurance supplied them with $100 travel expenses.
There's going to be a lot of orange at Kroger Field. Do you like that name, Kroger Field?
I'd
Commonwealth Stadium, baby,
Yeah.
forever.
So, hey, with that has been your Wednesday edition of The Drive. Always fun stuff, guys. Have a good time, and we appreciate all of our listeners tuning in. Have a great day, everybody.